from the 70s. They said the train yard was haunted. We laughed about it. Until that night, when Jason showed up on that Halloween, something was not right, and then he disappeared. Welcome back to the fire. Tonight's story was shared to us by someone who grew up in Wisconsin. They asked that we shared it exactly as they wrote it. It begins like this. The night of Halloween. This happened to me in November 1977 in a small town near Superior, Wisconsin. I was 12 that year. The kind of age where the whole world still feels like a story you can walk into. Halloween was the biggest night of the year. The whole town glowed orange. People raked leaves into piles and burned them, so the air smelled like smoke and damp paper. The school held a small costume parade on Halloween night. People lined the fence, cameras flashing. We couldn't wait for Halloween to come. My friends Matt and Jason and I had spent the entire week making our costumes. We wanted to be different, not store-bought. Matt's mom gave us old bed sheets, some brown paint and rope. We cut out holes for eyes, tied the sheets with belts, and rubbed dirt on the fabric so we'd look like ghosts that crawled out of the train yard near town. Jason said it was perfect because the yard itself was supposed to be haunted. There had been an accident there in the 50s. A worker caught between cars, or a boy who vanished while playing. None of us really believed it, but it made a good story to tell the younger kids. That afternoon, we met behind the school to test the look. We practiced walking with our arms stretched out and pretending to moan. People around us started laughing, and the teachers rolled their eyes. The bell rang, and we promised to meet at Matt's house the next day, right after dinner around 6. The next day, after helping with chores, it was already afternoon. I prepared my costume and couldn't wait for sundown. When the time came, I was really excited. The streets were alive. Porch lights flicked on one by one. Paper bats hung from trees. You could hear kids shouting blocks away. And every driveway had little orange pumpkins glowing like eyes. Matt and I waited on his porch with candy bags and flashlights wrapped in orange plastic. His mom took a photo of us and told us not to stay out too late. We stood there a while, stamping our feet against the cold, waiting for Jason. 10 minutes passed, then 15. Matt said maybe Jason's mom was making him eat before he came out. Then we saw someone turn the corner. Same costume, white sheet, rope belt, the brown paint mark right across the chest. He did not wave. He just walked up the steps. Finally, Jason showed up. Matt whispered under his breath, "You took forever," he said. Matt was quite upset because we agreed to start with the parade and start trick-or-treating early so that we could get to more houses than usual. I told him we'd been thinking he might not come and maybe go on without him, but we decided to wait. Jason just stood there, no answers, just quietly looking at us. Then Matt, irritated, burst out and said, "We really wanted to join the parade, you know." It was clear he was disappointed. We managed to join the parade, but we were already at the end part. Then we agreed to go and headed down the street. The night felt huge and endless. We ran from porch to porch. The back bags getting heavier with each stop. We laughed so hard we could barely breathe. Jason was very quiet. Maybe he was not feeling it, as he hardly said a word. He just nodded when we talked, always walking a step behind. Sometimes he would stop and stare down a dark side street, like he saw something we didn't. I thought maybe Jason was upset because Matt got angry earlier, and that's why he was quiet the whole time. He just kept walking, slow and quiet, like his mind was somewhere else. Around 7, we reached the town square. The volunteer fire station had cider for kids, and the church gave out cookies. The 3 of us sat on the steps eating candy, while Jason just stared blankly at the street ahead, steam coming out of our mouths in the cold. Matt told a story about how his cousin, who swore he had seen a ghost walking by the train tracks at midnight. We all listened. I was scared. Jason was still silent enough that it bugged Matt, and he finished the story by jumping straight to the end because he thought Jason wasn't interested. After that, we started for the outer streets near the marsh, where there were fewer houses but bigger candy bars. The fog was rolling in from the water and curled around the street lights and made everything look like an old photograph. By the time we reached the last house, we could barely see past the gate. An old man gave us apples and told us to head home before the fog thickened. When he looked at Jason, his smile faded. He said, "You boys should stick together." I noticed Jason turned his head away, like he didn't want to be seen. We started walking back, our shoes crunching wet leaves. The fog swallowed the sounds of other kids. I remember hearing breathing behind me. It was slow and so close. I thought it was just Jason catching up. When I looked, he was only a few feet away, moving slow, dragging one foot like it was heavy. By the time we reached Matt's house, our bags were full. We ran up the steps and dumped the candy on the porch floor. Matt laughed, counting chocolate bars. I turned to call Jason over, but he was standing at the bottom of the steps, with his back resting on Matt's stairs. The porch light flickered once. He looked up at us, and for a second I saw his sheet move, like wind was inside it. Headlights of a passing car flashed over him, and when the car passed by him, he was gone, nowhere to be seen. Matt and I started calling for Jason, but there was no answer. The yard was empty. The street was quiet. We stood there for a long time till the cold got through the costume. We went inside, told Matt's mom, and she said maybe Jason decided to go home. The next morning, we went to Jason's house with the candy he left on Matt's stairs. We knocked a few times before the door opened. His mom looked tired, like she hadn't slept. She greeted us and thanked us for visiting Jason. She said he had been sad about missing trick-or-treating. Her voice was a bit slurred, so we didn't quite understand and just nodded, telling her we brought Jason's candy back from last night. She paused, puzzled. "Oh, you mean you boys brought him candy from your trick-or-treating last night?" Jason would be delighted. He's really feeling down. He's been sick with a fever since yesterday afternoon. She said Jason never went out at all. When we realized what she said, Matt and I looked at each other with the same confused look, and we both said it at the same time. that couldn't be. Then we rushed into Jason's room. He was still in bed, covered in a blanket from head to toe, pale and sweating. We told his mom he was with us last night on Halloween. She just frowned and said that was impossible. We told her everything, how Ed walked with us, how he barely spoke, how he seemed a bit strange all night. We decided to stay with Jason for a while, just to keep him company. After a bit, he woke up, still weak, but smiling when he saw us. We were so glad he was talking again. While we were sitting there, we told him what happened. He was in shock. He then said something that made the room feel colder. He told us that the day before Halloween, after school, he passed by the old road near the train yard. The one people said was haunted. He saw a kid standing there by the fence, watching him. Jason said he waved and said hi, and the kid raised a hand, gesturing for him to follow. He did, thinking maybe he could make a new friend. He talked as they walked, asking the kid about his name and where he lived, and if he was going trick-or-treating tomorrow. The kid just smiled at first, but when Jason mentioned he was going with his friends, the kid's face changed from smiling to blank. Then he turned and started walking ahead. Jason followed a few steps behind and bent down to pick something off the ground. When he looked up, the kid was gone. He called out a few times, but no one answered. After standing there for a while, he decided to go home. He said that when he reached his house, that's when he started feeling sick. Jason said he only remembered then what he picked up from the ground. It was a small piece of paper, soft and yellow at the edges, like it had been there for years. The ink was faded, but he could still make out a few words, and the faint face of a kid that was hard to recognize. It looked like part of a missing person notice, the kind they used to post on polls. The picture was too smudged to see clearly, just a blur where the face should be, but the date at the bottom was still there. It said missing during the Halloween night. For a second, none of us spoke. Maybe that kid never left that night at all. And maybe he was still out there, trick or treating, waiting for the night of Halloween.
Thanks for keeping me company tonight. The story sounds better whispered by the fire, don't they? Until we meet again. This is
Whispers of the Scribe.
If you enjoyed tonight's story and would like to keep the fire burning, please support me by buying me a coffee. Every cup fuels me to keep whispering here by the fire. If you have a story of your own, something you've never told, something that still follows you at night, send it to me at whispersofthescribe@gmail.com. Maybe one day
we'll whisper it here by the fire.